Live from Studio 3, this is Packaging Today with Evelio Mattos, Adam Peake, and Cory Connors.
What's up, Corrugated?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Got started a little late here, but that's okay.
I love that entry so much. It's so funny.
It's my favorite. I like the dancing. Like I just want to.
I just always do this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a Monday morning here, 8:33 a.m. in Mountain Standard. I don't know what the difference. I still don't know the Mountain Standard. There's like MTD, MDT and MST, and I just know what time it is where I am.
It has something to do with daylight savings time, and I'm not sure exactly. It's something I've been wrestling with lately with trips to different parts of the world. So,
by the way, I hit all four in the lower 48, all four time zones last week.
Amazing.
I went.
Boy, are his arms tired.
Hey, oh man, you got it. Hang on, dang it. There we go.
Yes.
Jeez, I gotta get it queued up.
Somebody has to do that joke when you're not available.
I know. I would be a really bad like morning AM DJ just because I'm not quite ready with all the things I'm supposed to do. But I had an awesome time in New York. I got to meet with my friend Paul, who is the principal at MWNY, and I got to go see their mock-up studio, and it's incredible what it is that they do to help brands. Like they have their presses fingerprinted to whatever company the brand says is going to be printing. They configure that press to create a mock-up so that it will be color right on material. They have a whole room where they do foils and custom inks, and
amazing.
I was like, dude, this is awesome. So, and then we got to go eat at Naz's restaurant,
which looked delicious.
It was so good. And then obviously, three of us got to be in Anaheim together.
The package deal, performing all in the same show. Westpac, sponsored by Packaging Digest, I believe is the relationship there.
Well, Informa Markets, I believe, who puts on the whole thing, I believe that they might own Packaging Digest.
Gotcha. That makes more sense. Okay.
I don't know. Somebody can jump in the comments and correct us on that.
Explain it to us. We're supportive. Either way, it was a wonderful show. Lots and lots of really interesting booths. A lot of engineering things that I really haven't been privy to in the past. Frankly, the show is so big, we didn't even realize we weren't in Westpac until halfway through the day, which it was actually really interesting. So
it kind of felt like that scene from Dumb and Dumber, where they're like, that John Denver's full of man. We're like walking around the show, like, are we sure we're invited to the right place? Like, we don't know.
I don't see any boxes. Yeah.
Just cool medical device stuff and people dressed up like clowns, and but then someone was like, no, hey, packaging people,
that way
you gotta go
all the way to the end.
And
it was Westpac was incredible. Really learned a lot and met some great people. Did a podcast live with Adrian from Informa. Incredible experience.
Did that go out? I hadn't seen.
No, the Wi-Fi wasn't the best there, so Evelio wasn't able to post live, but he was able to record it. So we will post it later as a podcast for Packaging Today. I want to talk about Adam Peake's and Evelio Mattos's speaking abilities. I was totally impressed with both of you, seriously, and really look up to both of you as professional speakers. You did an amazing job.
Oh, thanks, man. Well, we were just you got to go first, and so we had a high bar to try to hit. For those of you who don't know, so we spoke in 3 different segments of the show, and so Cory kicked it off right in the middle of everything. I mean, you were right next to the merch booth. There's a whole people were sort of milling around. And the thing I thought was cool, Cory, and you're such a humble person that you won't mention this, but what was cool about his presentation, the visual was awesome. You did a great job putting that together, but
Thank you.
people were just stopping. So it's right in the middle of the walkway where it's really busy. And I looked at some other talks that were going on, and people just sort of walk on past. But as I kind of started to see, there was, maybe 20, 25 people there in the actual area. And by the end of the talk, there was probably an additional 30 to 40 people just sort of hanging around to hear about sustainability and packaging. So I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool.
Thank you so much. And then to have one of the workers stop us on the way by, one of the security guards, she said, "Hey, your guys' speech was the best. We really loved it and we enjoyed it." And that I brought Adam and Evelio up on stage at the end, and we talked, kind of spitballed some ideas and some thoughts of what's really the most important do's and don'ts of sustainable packaging in social media. I thought that was really valuable for the audience. A lot of people taking notes, so that made me feel good.
Yeah. Hey, it looks like we got a question here in the comments, but Cory, I don't know if you have the ability to pull it on to the screen or not.
I don't. Valia, so we'll just have to say it.
Yeah.
John Duran says, "What would you say was the coolest thing you saw at Westpac?"
I think for me, there was a lot of cool stuff there for sure. I mean, the people, like meeting Rick was cool, seeing the Willy
Yeah.
Wonka and like the history of cannabis section was neat. We all made videos, and I've always loved this stuff at the Harpac Alma booth of, hey, there we go. I think
Thanks,
Evelio
Valia.
is backstage. But just seeing like little things that we don't even think about. So they had a machine set up there, and it was like how to bulk pack syringes, and
Yeah.
they had a little some material on the bottom. It was a
we're not sure.
clear. I think it was like I'm gonna guess it was a. I don't know.
LDPE, something like that. Pete,
We don't know. We don't know.
polypropylene, something
We're
like
just gonna
that.
go with PP. Because it's fun to say.
Yeah.
And then it was formed, and the syringe was dropped in, and it had the kind of the paper substrate that went over the top of it. This is not an area that I play in much in the packaging industry. It's just cool to see stuff, and it had this robot arm pick it up. And right next to that was like a palletization thing, like a
robot arm.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a horizontal form, fill, and seal machine, and it was incredible. It very high speed. I could see the potential there, but with pharma packaging, things need to be fast. They need to be secure and clean, and in large volume. So it was really impressive to see.
Somebody commented on my TikTok. They were like, this is supposed to be a clean room application. I don't see any PPE in it." No, sorry, this is just a trade show. No,
Yeah, and those weren't syringes; those were
those were
pens.
pens, which I believe were bought at penisland.com. As we
Yeah.
don't click or go to that website, please.
Please don't.
As an old middle school joke.
Not appropriate.
Yeah. So I don't know. That was for me. Did you have anything differently, or in addition to, I guess, Cory?
I like one of the first things that we saw was the testing equipment.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that was it Samsung? I don't remember the brand.
Samsonite.
Samsonite.
It was Samsonite, yeah.
Very, very nice people at a nice booth, and I apologize, I don't remember the brand, but they had a machine that would test the shear strength of material. And so I gave them one of my Aurora business cards, and they thought, we all guessed it would be a low number, 5-10 pounds of force, but believe it or not, it got up to 70 pounds of force to tear one of my business cards. So that was really neat to see.
Shout out to whoever makes the business cards for Aurora Landsberg. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was really cool. There was also and Evelio did a video about this. There was a gun sort of thing that you could type in. You could just put in what you wanted to, and it would I think it was like it would inkjet, or it would basically print onto the box whatever it is the word. So Evelio had him type out beer. He was like, it said beer on the box. I was like, man, I need to get one of those for just weenus all over
Right.
shipping boxes.
Right.
Whenever we ship out. Weenuslube.com.
Yes.
For all of your last minute Valentine gifts, go to weenuslube.com. Thank you.
That's a great idea for a Valentine gift.
You know,
yeah.
It might be a little late. I don't know if it would arrive on time.
We'll ship it next day.
Maybe a St. Patrick's Day gift also. Yeah.
Lots of holidays coming.
March Madness gift. There's all sorts of gift giving that can be done.
What'd you think of that Super Bowl yesterday?
I didn't have a particular rooting interest in the game. I don't follow the NFL closely at all.
Yeah.
And which
you're a hockey guy, right?
Even less so. Which makes me both a bad American with the NFL and a bad Canadian.
They support you.
Although I did see a commercial. The commercials I thought were moderately interesting. I had to like quickly Google during the is Rihanna pregnant? Because I don't want to be the guy in the room who's just like, she looks pregnant. And everyone's like, how dare you, sir? It's like, no, I'm just gonna. Okay, good. Yes, she is. Everybody,
she is. Congratulations, Rihanna. Yeah. Well done. Amazing halftime show. Very impressive.
And she's watching this. I know the day after the show. She always tunes into Packaging Today.
It's a well-known secret in the industry that she loves our show so much.
She does. She reaches out to us with all sorts of questions.
No.
Yeah, I didn't have. Although I did think. What was I going to say? Oh, it was the Ode to Canada commercial by Crown Royal. I thought was
Dave Grohl. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. Oh, that was Dave Grohl. That's right.
Yeah. He's famous.
Yeah. Not. I mean, maybe not quite as famous as Rihanna, but he's up there.
Maybe
in some circles, he's probably a lot more famous.
Definitely.
But yeah, I didn't. I mean, I watched the game. Go team.
Right. Yeah. So. Very close game, which is pretty rare to see in a Super Bowl, I think. I don't know. But very, very competitive. A lot of issues with the grass. I thought that was interesting that they tried out a new turf or new actual real grass grown right there in California. And it was the first time they had used that grass.
It was in Arizona.
I know, but the grass was grown in California.
Oh, okay. God, I just was like, oh.
Yeah.
Our hot takes are coming in. People are going to be like, ah.
No, he's way off. But I thought that was kind of short-sighted that they would use a new grass for the biggest game in the year.
Yeah, they grew it for 2 years. 2 years of like preparing to be like the perfect thing. And I think that is an interesting kind of segment into our industry, right? Which is that like, especially when it comes to like topics like sustainability, and certainly we've been having a lot of conversations about that, but it's like, there are experts. I mean, probably the finest people in the world who spent 2 years of their life preparing and prepping this in articulating this soil. But until you actually deploy it, you don't know how it's going to be. And so I was actually thinking about that with like packaging testing and like all of that stuff is so critical and it's so important. But until you actually go live,
right,
you don't always know, right? And that's what happened, right? They went live and the labels were peeling off. They didn't have the right adhesive, and they didn't know it.
Well, and that could have caused injuries. I mean, they had a lot of the players had to change their cleats to longer spikes, and I think so. Big risks they took. They failed. It's it happens in life and happens in packaging too.
Yeah,
but I think that's an issue with sustainable packaging. Is a lot of new materials are being tested, and they don't always work, and that's okay. But we need to test it, and we need to try and take risks and try new things, and hope our customers are amenable to potential challenges.
I think I've shared this story before on the show, but like I mentioned in Anaheim, I I have a proclivity of sharing the same story multiple times. So I apologize.
That's part of being a parent, right? We're allowed to do that.
I think so.
Or maybe just part of being over 40.
Yes, yeah, because you just don't know. You've had time.
No offense to anyone who doesn't have children. Yeah,
Also true.
you can tell stories too. Yeah.
So there was a company, and I'll keep all the details out. But there was a company that was it was a kind of a mid-shelf liquor company. And it's a similar case study to like the what was the orange juice company that rebranded and then had to quickly
go
back. Dang it. We'll get anyway. Similar story to that, right? So, but they went through all of the stuff, right? Like they did all the case studies. Tropicana, yeah. They did all the time. They had professionals come in, and there's some incredible professionals in branding, and they did all their research, and then they spent it was over thanks Fred. Yeah, Tropicana.
Thanks, Fred.
They spent over 6 figures in just new plates, almost 7 figures on new labels just to get their rebrand out. So it was a big deal.
Right.
And they go live. It was like how this takes, right? It's 15 to 18 months of all of this prep work and getting all the things done. They go live, and their sales, immediately plummeted. Like that month, it wasn't like they were getting shamed like Tropicana was. It was like almost a total nosedive.
Yeah.
And they were freaking out. And the reason why was because while their new brand landed well with, focus groups and things like that, like everyone said how much they loved it. And when it came down to it, when it was sitting on the shelf next to everyone else, the rebrand was so big that they couldn't their customer said, "We didn't know that was you."
Yeah.
And so, this does happen. It does happen a lot, but until that moment, man, until you roll the grass out, right? Until the cleats start hitting it, until the bottles hit the shelf, whatever it is, all you're doing is just trying to remove the possibility of mistakes through the testing. But it's never going to be 100% until you go live. So.
Right, and maybe don't do all your flavors at once. Maybe try one. Maybe try a new flavor and new packaging, like and say, "Hey, what do you think of this packaging, consumer?"
Yep.
And see if it sells, and if it doesn't, go back to what was working.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Mattos.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, our this is Major Tom to ground control.
What?
You're a ground control. You've come up. You've researched.
That's right.
Hey, Matt had a good question here in the comments. Our friend Matt Hansley said, "Do you see any cool sustainable materials at Westpac?"
No, I didn't. Did you?
I didn't see anything that stuck out.
I would say nothing new.
No.
Now, I always
didn't really see any materials. Actually,
there were some flexible packaging companies there.
Lots of labels.
Yeah, but it wasn't anything that was like, oh my gosh, like I'd never seen this before. So there's nothing new and innovative there was like, there's compostable stand-up pouches that I saw. There are, wash off adhesive labels and things like that have been around for some time that haven't gotten all the traction there, but I did see some of those, but nothing from a material standpoint that I was like.
No, there's some like Ziploc bags that, were fully recyclable, but it all depends on who's recycling Ziploc bags, right? There's a lot of claims, kind of like what you see everywhere else, but nothing super new. It was mostly equipment. It was less material and more equipment.
Yep, it was kind of like
impressive,
like a more intimate version of
Pack Expo. Yep.
The one thing I will say, I put this out on LinkedIn as well. I thought it was really fascinating when we like I went to one booth and I took a video, and they just have like a little semi-automatic label applicator, and I just asked them, "Hey, can I take a video of this and put it out on social media?" And they were like, "Of course." And I said, "Can I tag you?" And they were like, "We don't have social media." And I said, "None of you do?" And they said, "No."
Mhm.
I'm like, "Your company doesn't?" And they said, "I think we have a Facebook page." And I just thought to myself, like, obviously we love and value social media. That's what, some of our conversations were about, or our presentations were about. But how short-sighted is it to show up, to do all the work, to go to a show, and to not even have a way to be tagged
Mhm.
on social media? I mean, I had somebody on TikTok reach out and say, "I want one of those. Where do I get it?" And I was
Right.
like, "I
Right.
don't know.
Right.
I'll let me look." Instead of being able to say like, "Oh, click on the thing." They have their
Yeah.
website. Away they go. They got an order for $1,000.
Right.
So
Lost
But
opportunity sale right there.
yeah, but social media is just for the kids. Kids don't go to these
Right.
shows, man. You know,
Yeah,
you gotta
TikTok's
just
not
remember the
real.
URL. Yeah, TikTok's not
Yeah.
real.
It's all fake.
That's right.
Uh,
yeah. Anyway,
I
I
know,
just
man.
I thought that was interesting. The amount of money that's spent to attend one of these shows,
Mhm.
and the amount of traffic that can be generated on a social platform along with the traffic at the show. We're not saying don't attend the
right.
shows. We're just saying, like, if you're gonna go there, have a strategy to multiply your efforts.
Right.
That's all.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's so
Set up a
much.
QR code, like
Yeah,
set up a QR code
exactly.
that takes you
Set
to your socials, right?
a
Like make it
landing
super easy.
page. Yeah. How long does
Yeah.
it take to set up a LinkedIn profile? 5
Minutes.
minutes?
And
Yeah.
yeah. And then they didn't even have a MySpace page.
No MySpace page, you. MySpace needs to make a comeback. I feel like with all the retro stuff going on, that some of
They
us old
could.
people would just be like, "Can I just have a MySpace page where I can go find obscure bands and be friends with
Yeah.
Tom?" Like,
It's a
that's
great
kind of all
idea.
I really want on. I guess maybe that's for Spotify now.
Tom, if you're
Mm.
listening, we're
Bring
down.
it back. That's right.
Yeah. It is. You
We're-
can actually go to myspace.com. Apparently, if you had an old MySpace page, you can find it, but I could not find mine.
Oh my gosh, I can't even go there. All right, man. So what else? We got 5 minutes left. What do we got? What was the most exciting thing? What was the most
We talked
exciting thing we
about
did while we were there?
the machine that pulled my business card apart. We talked about
Yeah.
the form fill and seal machine. We talked about our speeches. Yours was awesome, Evelio.
Thanks.
Come
So
on
was yours.
down. Listen to Evelio Mattos talk about AI.
All I did was just waste company money. So
Mhm.
Yeah, apparently.
it was. I will say that maybe the most exciting thing that happened is something that didn't happen specifically at the show. But as the three of us sat down for breakfast, I was served my food, and then I went to go eat it. And the waiter, I don't know if this is normal or I don't know. I've never
It wasn't even the server that put your plate down.
no.
It was
A server
another
came and
guy.
put your plate down. Then another
And
random
somebody else
person came
came
over.
and turned it so that my omelet was facing me instead of my omelet was offset. And I was like, "Is this?" I've never had this happen before.
You were like you were about to dig
I'm
in.
about to eat, and he's like, "Excuse me, sir," and he just like barely
You-
moves it, like it's
And he-
62 degrees back.
He didn't even work there, which was the best part.
and he apologized. He's like,
he had a
I'm
Disney
sorry,
hat
sir.
He was dressed up
Sorry,
like
I
Mickey
cannot let
Mouse.
my vacation be ruined with my family by having to eat in such primitive manner. You can never eat your hash browns first, sir. You must
Not
eat.
allowed. Inappropriate.
Yeah, it was
No.
a very interesting breakfast moment for me.
But
That
from now on, Adam will move your plate if
I will.
you eat with him.
If you try to eat your breakfast incorrectly and I'm around, I will have none of it.
There
Eggs
will be
first.
rotations. Yeah.
Maybe they were worried because the cost of eggs is so high. They were like, if he doesn't eat these eggs
That's right.
first, he is doing the whole restaurant a disservice.
Don't let him fill up on starch. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, but the show was awesome. It was
Really
huge.
great show.
I don't know if we showed up. We went into the into the
Talk about
show.
all of this, Evelio.
We were in the wrong place, of course. It was massive. It was crazy. Then we went upstairs. It was even crazier. And then we learned about underwater hockey.
Yeah,
dude.
Casey from Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, packaging engineer from Johnson & Johnson. I mean, how do you even swim with those skates on? That's the crazy part. Right?
It was wild.
They're heavy. They're heavy skates.
It was wild. He's like interviewed on the internet. I looked at all. I went down the
guy
hockey YouTube hole, and I was like, wow. Casey Nakamura. Shout out to Cal Poly Packaging School and Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah. And he played underwater hockey for Michigan State.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah.
So
between that and I learned about Karjitsu. If you've ever seen Karjitsu, which is just Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but inside of an automobile. It's a whole. Look it up. It's a sport, and it's. We learned so much. Not just packaging. You learn a lot at these shows.
There's hard work. I promise.
I don't do Karjitsu. I just know I'm super prepared if somebody gets behind me and tries to strangle me. I can put my hand up in here, right? Recline my seat.
we learned that on TikTok. See, social media is valuable.
Super valuable. So make sure you have one if you go to a show.
We also learned. Hugh has now coined a new phrase. We learned about poo, POO, proper orientation.
It's similar to OPP, but different.
It's different. It's
POO.
Yeah,
that's right. I did post a TikTok with me being, everybody's so creative about packaging, and then I got hate because they're like, don't do that to her. But I love her.
Oh,
the everybody's so creative girl. She's amazing. Things like Tatiana double chocolate.
I have no idea. I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. You actually texted us, and I was like, I have to pretend like I know what's going on, but I don't.
I saw your video. It was great.
I'm admitting to you that I don't know what's happening.
All right.
We support you.
If you're watching this, do me a favor, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe.
Yeah.
That's
we all have YouTube channels.
That's awesome. Right. That's the cost of this show. It's totally free. Just go click subscribe.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Am I wrong that wearing this hoodie outside is devoid of any context, just makes me seem like a really angry person? Because obviously in the packaging world, this is SBS, right? It's solid bleach sulfate. But I made the sample and I was like, I don't know if I can go in public with that. Even at a packaging show, I think people would be like, what the hell, buddy?
Maybe if you're at a paper convention.
Even then.
Yeah, even then I might be, I don't know. It's a really comfortable hoodie.
There you go.
But I don't know. I don't know if this one will make it to mass production.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up, guys. Check out the podcasts, Packaging Unboxed, People of Packaging, Sustainable Packaging.
By Evelio Mattos.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
100%.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Live from Studio 3, this is Packaging Today with Evelio Mattos.